I recently learned a new technique, Russian grafting. Hi, welcome to CHeri Knits. I love knitting and I want you to love it too. Let me show you how to do this really cool decorative grafting technique. Let's get started. Let's take a look at how to do Russian grafting. I recently discovered this really cool technique. It's an alternative to Kitchener stitch. It's not invisible like Kitchener stitch is, but it leaves this nice decorative edge on the front, and then it's really smooth. There's no bump on the back. So let's take a look now at how to do this. One thing I like about this technique is you don't have a working tail, so you don't have to estimate any yarn. You're never going to run out of yarn. You just use the actual loops that are on the needle and a crochet hook. And so you take your two pieces that you want to graft together, and just like you would do with Kitchener, you lay them right sides up, one on top of the other. And in this technique, you need to have the same number of stitches on both pieces. So I have 20 stitches here and 20 stitches here. Now you want to set yourself up so that there's a working tail on the left side. And depending on if the working tail is on the top piece or the bottom piece, that will determine where you start on this side, whether you start on the top or the bottom. And as mine is set up, I have a working yarn on the top piece on the left side. So when I come to the right side, I'm going to start with the first stitch on the bottom needle, so the opposite of where the tail is on the left. Okay, and I have mine on circular needles. You could put them on double pointed needles or straight needles, depending on how many stitches you have going on. And I'm going to slide everything to the points on the right side. And I like to hold it just like I would if I was set up for Kitchener stitch. I put my index finger in between the two needles, and then I use my middle finger and my thumb to hold those needles into place. You want to work pretty close to the tips, but be careful so all your stitches don't just fall off. And I'm working on a size 9 knitting needle, so I grab the equivalent, which is a 5.5 millimeter or an I crochet hook. It's not 100% critical that you use the same size, but you want it to be pretty close, and it will make it easier to do the little crochet move that you need to do. So let's take a look at how to do this technique. I'm going to enter the first stitch on the bottom as if to knit and take it off. And then I'm going to enter the first stitch on the top as if to knit and slip that off also, just those two. And then you're going to bring the last stitch on the needle through that first stitch, like that. And once you've done that setup, you'll only take one stitch off at a time. So I'm going to go to the bottom needle, enter the stitch as if to knit, slip it off, and pull that through. And then enter the stitch on the top as if to knit, slip it off, and pull it through. And if a crochet hook, if you're not a crocheter and using a crochet hook is new to you, the only thing you need to kind of keep in mind is that when you pull that stitch through, you want to turn the head of the crochet needle just a little bit to the left so it'll go through easier. So enter the back as if to knit, slip it off, and then bring it through. And you continue doing this all the way across until you get to your very last stitch. And when you get there, I'll show you what to do next. All right, now we're getting to the end here, and just a reminder, you're alternating between taking a stitch from the front needle as if to knit and then the back needle as if to knit, and just pulling them through as you go. So front needle as if to knit, pull it through, back needle as if to knit, and then just pull that one through. And then we can get rid of the needles, and then you have your pieces grafted together. Now, because you started with the front and ended with the back, and you have this working yarn waiting for you, what you'll do is just take that yarn, drape it over the needle, pull it through, and pull, and then it's secure. And then you're able to pull that to the back to weave in your ends. And look how pretty that looks. I'm really excited to possibly use this for shoulders of a sweater. I think this is a little more sturdy than Kitchener, and it sure is a pretty edge. Give it a try. Let me know what you think. You can do this. You are the boss of your knitting. I'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed that and you're able to give it a try soon. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. And also, if you need some inspiration for a new knitting pattern, check out my patterns on Ravelry. The link is below. And let me know what you think about those also. I'll see you next time.